So there's not too many hikers on trail, but there were 4 people in my shelter last night. So they really do exist. I was expecting the numbers to really dwindle and just get lower and lower, but they definitely aren't. They're staying steady, and they have stayed steady for a few weeks. Although they are starting earlier and earlier in the year, so I'm seeing some more mid-February people. Apparently I've already passed a few people who started in January, so it's interesting. And I don't think I'll stay in the bubble forever, so eventually I will escape. Well, it's been green tunnel all day so far, but good green tunnel. You know, whenever I'm not going through this carefully maintained forest, like a national park or national forest, when I'm kind of just going through what sort of looks like an overgrown garden, those have been some of my favorite parts of the hike so far. Not long to go now. 33 miles and I'm out of the south. Well, I can very, very faintly see Washington, D.C. over there, so at least that's a view. Oh my god, Trail Boss was not the final boss. Here it is, the final boss of Virginia, the roller coaster. It's 12 very steep hills, which I'm doing one after another. None of them are too tall, but they're all just very consistent. Almost a bit like a whole bunch of the stuff I've done before, but yeah. Apparently it's 12 very steeply stacked hills, which are completely unnecessary to go up, but the trail goes up to them anyway, so I have to do all of them. Favorite thing about that flight was watching the bumblebees attack this thing. Least favorite thing about that flight is the bug juice on my drone. That was hill number 1 down, 11 to go. To be honest, that wasn't as steep as I was expecting. That's hill number 2. Once again, not as steep as I thought these things would be. That being said, I'm just getting sweatier and sweatier with each one. Made it to the 3rd hill. And look what I found. That's pretty significant. Thousand miles. 1,000 miles. That's insane. Well, only 1,200 to go. There's a nice little hut at the bottom of Hill 5. 3 people staying there. I think it might be decreasing by increments. Look at that. There's Dan Rock. One of the best sunsets so far. I thought this day would have 0 views. I was sitting there for a while waiting for that sunset to soak into my retinas. That was one of the best sunsets I've seen this year. Climbing hill number 10 right now. I think I might make this the very last hill today because it's 9 o'clock. And I'm pretty tired, pretty knackered. So I'm just gonna go down the other side and camp. Okay, so it's 9:30. I'm gonna camp like right near here, just over there. But look at this beautiful, beautiful spring. Just coming straight out of the earth, right there. Nothing above it. I love that. You know, day hikers have been around when the path is like 2 meters wide. Take me home, country roads, to the place that's been rainy every time I've been there, West Virginia. Whatever this mountain is. Nice view, actually. That was the least ceremonial border crossing I've had so far. Apparently there was a sign saying I was entering West Virginia, but I completely missed it. Just kind of wanted to get up that hill. But also I've been to West Virginia before on this trail. And I'm going to be in Virginia again. The trail kind of crisscrosses the border for the next 20 kilometers. So really it doesn't actually mean much. I will be leaving Virginia for good in about 20 kilometers though, so that's pretty cool. Just climbed the 12th hill. That's the whole roller coaster finish. Solid stuff. And now it's a ridge line into Harper's Ferry. Just signed my photograph at the Conservancy, and now it's going to be put into this book full of all these finishes. How cool is that? Look at how far I've come. Look at just how far I've come. That is the Blue Ridge Mountains. Finished traversing it. Right here now. Long way to go. Lots of people talk about this challenge called the 4-State Challenge, which starts here and goes to Pennsylvania through Maryland. I don't think I'll do it. It's 44 miles, it's a bit of a commitment, and I want to stop at a hostel in a few, couple of hours from here. But anyway, welcome to West Virginia. That's Virginia done with. I don't have to enter the state again. I'm so far away from home, they don't even have me on this map. Thank you, Cross Trails Hostel. I had a good 0-day stay there. I had a 2-night stay there. Didn't move at all yesterday. Barely went outside yesterday. It was a very lazy day and one that was very sorely needed. Following the C&O Canal Trail right now. It's a pretty popular bike route that starts at Washington, D.C. I'm only following it for a short time between two mountain ranges though, and then I'll rejoin, well, the Appalachian Trail is here and it's going to rejoin the hills soon. That's the Potomac River right there. I crossed it yesterday. It was pretty spiritual as well. I was crossing along with this huge train and I had to kind of plug my ears to make sure I wasn't going deaf. It was a very special kind of entrance to the north of the United States, crossing that bridge. Because now I'm in the north, I'm in Maryland. I'm not in Virginia anymore, or West Virginia. My goal for today is the Washington Monument. Not the Washington Monument you know that's in Washington, D.C., but the Washington Monument that was the original, the Washington Monument that was built in like 1820. That's about 40 kilometers down the track, so I think we'll go there today. Check this out. It's an empty tomb. Can confirm there's not too much in there. Unrelated, but I've also seen some signs saying there was once a Confederate camp over here and during the Civil War. They were trying to outflank Harper's Ferry or something. So there are some complexities. I've been reading up at these signs about General Lee and Stonewall Jackson and the Maryland campaign, but the basic thing is thousands of people died here. This is the most settled the Appalachian Trail has been, and to be honest, it's kind of refreshing. It's kind of good not to be going just through these hills over and over again. So you've got these hills I walked up on, but then you've also got that farmland, and if you look really closely in the distance, you may not be able to see it, but I can see the Washington, D.C. skyline over there, which is a nice treat. Have a look at that. You know, I'm really liking Maryland. It's not dead flat, but it's pretty close to it. The trails are really good, and there's a bunch of history all around me, and some of it's still standing. It's pretty nice. Here at the Washington Monument, the original one, not the imposter in Washington, D.C. Just a nice big stone building and a view. So now I'm going down for about an hour and a half to a gap where I'm going to be picked up and sent to Trail Days. So Trail Days is this huge hiker festival which happens like 500 miles south of here, way down in southern Virginia. I'm actually going to be returning to Damascus, which is pretty cool, and seeing tons and tons of the people I have met again. So I'm pretty excited for that. We'll see how it is, generally. But yeah, you know what? I am pretty keen to see people I've seen before again, even though it's going to be a bit of a big party and I might not really like the social aspect of the whole thing too much by the end of it.